Hello and welcome. We're live on Facebook and on Instagram. Happy Saturday to you. And my name is Denette. I manifested my husband down to his date of birth, profession, and ethnicity, along with all those other wonderful traits that we want in a relationship. And if you have not seen my vision board picture compared to the first picture my husband sent me a week after meeting him, you should definitely check it out. It's quite remarkable, to say the least. And now I help women attract high value men ready to commit in marriage for life. And today we are discussing the topic: stop dating shit wrapped in gold and instead date a high value man. Before we begin, two things must be noted. Number one, people in relationships are complex and unique. So it's immature of me to use a label to describe a type of man. But for simplicity, I'm trying to explain an archetype that we all have experienced by using this label. And number two, I know about 50% of you can relate with what I'm about to say. And I want to reassure you that if you do fit one of these descriptions, it doesn't mean that your inner world is shit. I'm using this as a simple way to describe experiences that women feel. And also it's just behaviors, which means it can be changed. And also it's about the progress. Being of high value means you make progress. So even if you do fit one of these criteria now, it's the progress to become something more fulfilled and more internal living. Okay, so what is shit wrapped in gold? It's literally just how it sounds. It is a metaphor to describe a type of man. And it's a man whose outer world and appearances are not what you think, and it doesn't match his inner world. Another way to look at this is whatever attracted you to him in the first place without knowing him is probably the shit part. Not because you are attracted to shit, but because it's similar to what marketing is in business. You know, you could have a shit product, something that just takes away from your energy, that just sits on your shelf, that you never use, yet it was marketed in a way that you need it, that you must have it today. That would be shit wrapped in gold. And it makes sense why men would market themselves this way. If you look at your culture, you know, what's popular, what's trendy, it would make sense that they would market this way. However, the only thing we have in our control as someone who's dating or as a woman is not buy it. So we must expect more for ourselves and out of people. So, and here's a fact for the people that like resources and facts to back up stuff. Here's a fact for you. According to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, people often prioritize physical attractiveness and status over compatibility and emotional intelligence. In the initial stage of dating, leading to dissatisfaction later on as they get to know each other. Hi, baby. My husband joined, of course, my #1 fan and cheerleader. Thank you. I'm going to wave you. I've never waved anyone. I love you, Ali. Okay, so what are some examples of shit wrapped in gold in practical terms? Here we go. A man who cares about his appearance more than his emotional health. A man who cares about money more than he does emotional immaturity or maturity, correction. A man whose smile and body are perfect, but has no idea how to communicate his feelings or be vulnerable. A man who comes from the right family, but believes women are inferior to men and they are here to be used or contribute. Men who have their career and finances together, but judge you based on how you are doing in your career and finances. A man who has a nice car, house, career, but has no idea what he wants from a woman or a relationship. A man who makes more money than you, but he sees you as someone that could just help save him money or contribute to rent. A man whose appearance is a 10, but only values you because of your appearance. A man who is busy living his life, but also makes no time for you and doesn't feel you are a priority. So basically, a man made of shit wrapped in gold is someone who has only gone exterior deep. And then here we come wanting something interiorly deep. Doesn't make sense. It won't happen. Because if he's only gone exteriorly deep in himself, he can only give you externally deep. I firmly believe that where the sheep flock, it's often not the high value path, and very few sheep eat good quality pasture. That applies to men in dating as well. Man, that's a good quote. I made that quote up, but I had to read it. And thanks for joining. I see a couple people on with me on Instagram. I'm so happy that you're here with me. And I would love your opinion. I'm curious about what you guys think about what I'm saying. Even if you don't agree, it's okay. Okay, so I know about half of my audience is men. So I want to reassure you that doing one of these things I'm about to mention, oh, I already mentioned it, wrong note. Okay, so I would like to offer you a different way of approaching dating or looking for your attracting your significant other than just, I know you've all experienced what I just said, and so maybe your solution to that is just accept it and date men that are only externally deep, or that do one of those things that I mentioned. Or your other approach may be not date at all. Your other approach might be just go full all in your career and just pretend like dating and love and relationships and marriage and children is not something you want. And so I want to offer you an additional, another solution to this issue that we all face. And that is, I want you to date gold wrapped in shit. So, what does gold wrapped in shit look like in practical terms? A man with an accent, but he knows how to communicate his feelings and vulnerabilities. A man who owns nothing flashy, but his inner world is rich and abundant. A man who understands a lot, but has little to say. A man who lives in abundance, but doesn't have a white smile and a gold watch. A man who prioritizes family and friends, but isn't an entrepreneur. A man who is ambitious and smart, but comes from a different culture or country and doesn't look the successful part. A man who doesn't make as much money, but he is generous with you and doesn't look at you as just somebody who could pay half of his rent. A man who doesn't play the bad boy, but he also won't have sex with you on the first night. Hey, my friend just joined. Hi. I'm so glad people are here. And a man, and I love that one. Let me repeat that one, actually. I love it so much. A man who doesn't play the bad boy, but he also won't have sex with you on the first night. A man whose who gets paid less, but his work actually makes an impact in people's lives versus just selling to the masses. I know most of you know what I'm talking about. I know you've experienced this. And so I hope that you tried this solution. And what I'm asking is, when I say the concept gold wrapped in shit, it's how I could break that down is I'm saying for you to give men a chance that you don't typically give a chance to. If your culture or your upbringing or your friends, your community, if they would think that like that you wouldn't even look at this type of person, that's the person to give a chance to. And I'm not saying for you to, hi Joe, I haven't seen you in a long time. Thanks for being here. And I'm not saying for you to go against your better judgment. What I'm saying is use more intuition than your judgment. Not even that. What I'm saying is use your intuition more. It's not always about judgment, because your judgment is filtered by your upbringing, your culture, what's popular, what's cool, what's going on in your city, your state, your country. So stop using that part of you and instead use this part of you and give the men a chance that you don't typically give a chance to. And I want to close that part up with a study published in the Journal of Marriage and Family, found that couples who challenge society's norms and focus on shared values and growth have a stronger and more satisfying relationship. So I know that's not always easy, you know, it feels scary to like, and it feels, and even they could scare you a little bit maybe if you're not used to dating that type of person, or if they're a little, you know, unique or whatever, if they have an accent maybe. So how do you become the type of person that give people a chance that you don't typically give a chance to? And so my number one question when I ask clients to go deep, when we get to the deep dive part of like identifying who their ideal husband is, the number one question that I like to ask them is, who else will benefit from your relationship? What bigger than you and your love for him can it impact? For example, I want to give this a example of what I mean by that is one of the reasons why I decided to marry a Middle Eastern man was because I went to a college where Middle Eastern men and white American people were segregated. Like they didn't talk to each other. And also I was raised by a semi-racist, my grandmother was a little racist towards Middle Eastern men. She would tell me that that they use women as property and they have to cover up and all this stuff. So I wanted my relationship and my love for the man to represent something that would make an impact on society and something that was bigger than just our love. So I'm asking you the same question. How can you do that? Also recently, my client got married and she attracted a high value man who was committed to her immediately, and they didn't even speak the same language when they met. Now they're learning each other's language and they are like blowing up their life. They're doing so good in life. But initially it was even the language barrier that kept them apart. They were both willing to live deeply and be out of the box, and they ended up attracting their perfect mate. So here's a couple of ways that you can quickly assess someone's internal qualities and their outer and not letting their outer qualities distract you. Let's see. Hi everyone. Okay, number one on how to assess someone's internal qualities and not let their external qualities distract you is ask open-ended questions. so that you could hear their values, their beliefs, and their decision-making processes. 2, pay attention to consistency. Do their words match their actions? And 3, notice their self-awareness. Are they willing to take responsibility, and are they willing to grow? If you pay attention to those 3 things, you will understand their inner world, and you will not get distracted by their external world or their, as I'm saying in this video, their marketing. So I am so happy that you joined. Hi, Vita. And also Adam, thank you for joining. And so if you enjoyed this training, or if you know someone that could benefit from this training, share it with your friends or family so that they could also get the benefit from watching it. And also, I know that I view life very simple. I say, okay, what do I want? How can I get it? I'm going to live in faith until I receive it. Pretty much that sums up the way I view life. So what I'm saying is I could view it very simply. So if I'm missing something, or if you have anything to add to this conversation, write it. Oh, yeah, I miss you too. I miss Grand Forks so much, actually, especially recently. And so it made me, Joe, I'm talking to you, by the way. So it made me actually start doing guided meditations like how we used to do in Grand Forks. I started doing them here on live. I just did one. I'm going to do one again next week. I hope to see you on there, since I know that you really enjoyed them too. And also, of course, if you would like to attract your high value man who's ready to commit in marriage for life, where you don't chase him and you attract him, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I only have 1 spot open for one-on-one coaching, and we get to work together for 5 months straight. We get to know yourself deeply. That's pretty much most of my training. It's self-awareness, not training. My program, it's called Nature's Heartbeat with Denette. It's mainly self-awareness. We go inward, all around, in your guts, in your legs, in your feet, and we unturn every single stone about you so we could really, really know who you are. And then after that way we could start from an empty, clean place. We decide who you want to marry and why. Then after that, we practice being in faith so that he could fall into our lap. And so if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I would love to meet my soulmate client. And thank you so much for being here. And I love you all. And yay, Joe, I'm so happy to see you there. I miss you too. I miss Grand Forks so much. So I have a question, Adam. Do you give advice for dating high value women who don't have personal issues? And miss you here in California. Aw, thank you. I miss California so much. I love that the community that we've created in the different states that I lived in they still love me and miss me. Like I think of you guys all the time. I think of California. And as far as the question, Adam, do you give advice for dating high value women who don't have personal issues? I work with women, but I will say this. I do know that we cannot control anything outside of us. We cannot control how women act, how women treat us, how women view us. However, the one thing we can control is our internal world, and how we act and how we respond and how we feel and think about situations that happen to us. And so I would say start there. I would say start with your own personal issues. Work those out in a compassionate and loving way, where you are your best friend. You are your own soulmate. You are the love of your life, Adam, before she comes in. I hope that lands. Oh, and also I noticed right here, both Joe and Adam are here with me, or used to be here with me. And you know what's so cool about that is both Joe is a Libra, and Adam is a Libra. I love to look at that. Like whoever interacts with me and engages with me, I'm like, okay, what zodiac sign are they? All right, guys, thanks so much for being here, and stay tuned for the next training. If you have any topics you would like me to cover, let me know. And stay tuned for our next guided meditation. And I love you so much. Bye.